Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Hindash and Timmy, and today's video is a continuation of my last video, which is going to be the focus on the liner look that I did. And in this video, I'm just going to be going in depth and showing you the steps of creating this very thin liner that turns into a cat eye. But you guys can just ignore the inner corner if you don't want it to turn into a cat eye, and just keep it a very beautiful, thin, winged out liner. And as always, please feel free to use whatever products you have at hand if they do work. I'm here to show you more of the techniques and how things work, but of course the products that I use are really great too. But don't feel pressured to buy a lot of expensive products. I'm just having fun with the makeup that I have, and you should too. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't below, and follow me on Instagram, which is @Hindash as well. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye. Alright, so I'm going to be starting off with a clean base, and for a primer I'm going to be taking the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer. And this is a clear primer, and I'm going to be placing that all over the lid and then blending it in and tapping it in with a brush. And I've just gotten so used to using an eye primer. I love eye primers, and I usually use the MAC paint pots if I want something more tinted. But I don't want a tinted base for this look because I want to keep it as natural as possible. So after a primer, I usually like to set everything with a bit of shadow, but this time I'm just going to be going in with a kind of contour color and putting that in the crease because I want to treat this as a contour and I want to start defining her eyes. So really working that into the eye socket and just blending it in and making sure we get the dimension and depth that we want. And then I'm going to be concentrating the color on the outer corner because that's where I want the most intensity, because that's where I'm going to be doing my wing as well. So it really is going to lift the eyes and draw attention to the outer corners. And just use a fluffy brush for this because you really want to diffuse that color and not make it harsh. And then I'm going to be taking a cream ivory shade. So any shade that's a bit lighter than your skin that would match you, you want to put that on the brow bone and on the center of the lid and pat that and pack it on the center of the lid so you get that really nice contour and dimension because you're adding more light now as opposed to the areas that you've contoured. So the contours are going to look more contoured and the areas that you want to highlight are going to pop out even more. Next, I'm going to be applying mascara. This is the Shiseido Imperial Lash Mascara, so you can use any mascara you want. And I usually use false lashes after this, but for this video I just kept it with her natural lashes because in the full length video I do add a bit of individual lashes on the outer corners. And I'm going to brush through her lashes just so we can get rid of any clumps and just to make the lashes more fluffy and very, very natural. For liner, I'm going to be taking the House Laboratories eyeliner in the shade Punk, which is the black one. And what I like to do with liner is I like to kind of stamp it on the outer corner on the edge, and that way I kind of get a guide. So I want it to be pretty straight on. So just tracing that line. And then as you can see, if you get a bit of jagged lines, I'm just going to go over everything. But starting to work it into the lash line to give us that intensity at the base, which is what I like to focus on as well. And just trace that line and start making it very smooth. Now that I'm happy with the base, I'm going to extend the liner to the length that I want it. So just tracing over that line and kind of aligning it with the line that I've done so far. And tracing over the edges to perfect them and make them nice and smooth. But I'll be showing you how to do a really cool trick with that. So again, take your time and keep looking ahead as you do this. I know you can get kind of carried away looking down or at the mirror, but take a step back and look straight ahead to kind of see where you want the direction of the liner to be. And keep going over it. And now I'm going to be extending the wing to a fine tip that I'm happy with. And I want it to kind of really swoop out and be very, very thin. And then I keep going back and forth and perfecting those lines so we get that nice smooth base. And going over any stubborn areas that kind of get really annoying, but really easily done. You just go over them very, very thinly with the edge and the tip of the liner. And now that you're sort of happy with the shape that you want and you've kind of done all the detail work at the base, I'm going to be showing you a really cool trick that I have been obsessed with. Take a brush, any synthetic brush that kind of looks like a lip brush, and I'm going to be dipping it into micellar water. So that's basically a makeup remover. And what you want to do with this brush is you want to kind of smooth it over the edge and any areas that feel a bit not lumpy, but that would have a bit of a gap in the liner, and that way you're kind of moving the liner around because it is a makeup remover, but it's not an oily one, so it's not going to break down over time. Once it dries, you'll be fine. It'll be set. So I'm going to be taking this over the edges, and as you can see, it's really kind of smoothing everything. It activates the liner again to make it more wet, and once it sets, you're good. Then I'm going to be taking a bit of a pencil brush and back with that taupey contour color and going in the crease again. Because when I blended, I kind of lost a bit of that dimension, so just bringing it back very lightly. And I'm going to be taking that color on the lower lash line as well to give us more dimension there as well. So focusing it on the outer corner and blending it in. I'm also going to be applying a bit of mascara on the lower lash line just to give us that nice fluttery look that's going to really open up her eyes. And it's going to look super pretty. If you feel like you have super long lower lashes, you can skip this step because it might be overpowering with kind of the foxy eye that's going to happen. And I'm going to tightline her waterline with the Pat McGrath Perma Gel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil in the shade Black Coffee, which is a brown. And that's just going to add a nice touch without it looking too harsh. For the inner corners, I'm going to be taking the Shiseido Arc Liner ink in the shade Black. And oh my god, this liner for tiny detail work. I mean, I would use this only for like the inner corners, or if you want a super fine line. So good. The only other liner that does this, in my opinion, is the Tom Ford one, which is super expensive, but my god, that liner lasts forever. If you guys know any other liners that are really tiny like this, let me know down below because, I mean, it's a beautiful liner. And as you can see, I was able to get that really crisp, precise line. And the liner has a bit of an angle to it, which really helps and just adds to that definition and the precision. I love it. So I'm just taking my time and doing this slowly because I want to intensify that black and make sure everything is nice and even within that liner. And going over it with my brush if I need to smooth anything out, but I think it looks really good and it didn't really need anything. And now I go back to the wing of the liner and I'm kind of messing with it a bit because I want it to be super straight. I like that it had a bit of like a swoop, but I kind of want it to be a very straight edge liner. So as she's looking down, that's a good trick to see where things align. And I'm going to be filling in the outer corner just to make it very straight and crisp. And that basically completes this liner. It's so beautiful. You can do this without the inner corner, like I mentioned, or you can just go all the way and kind of make it like a fox eye trend. But yeah, as you can see, this is the full look and you can see it in action here. And I think it looks beautiful. So if you do this, let me know. Tag me on Instagram. My Instagram is @Hindash. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.